Hello, friends and fiends. This is your friendly neighborhood WriterMonkey coming at you live from the treehouse with some more Final Fantasy VI, which I almost called Secret of Mana. So, when we last left off, we stormed the city of Narsh, we found an Esper in a cave, and everyone exploded. So, we have our party leader here, apparently had this crown thing on her head that controlled her thoughts and actions. Now she has amnesia, which is pretty damn tropey, I'm not gonna lie. And now we come to something I thought was cool. Before you name each character, you get a little blurb about them. And we are going with the default names, because they're the real names of the characters, why the hell wouldn't we? So, this is Terra. Terra is interesting, because, as you saw in the last video, she can use magic, which apparently has disappeared. Also, the whole city's kinda pissed at her because she kinda stormed the whole place with some giant fucking robot armor. Killed a whole bunch of dudes, and a big snail thing. People are upset. It's to be expected, I suppose. But this old guy here, I'm assuming, he's labeled as old man, even though he looks not that old. He's helping us out. So we should be following him here, but there's one interesting fact about the population of this town, well, this world. They hide the best items in their grandfather clocks. Seriously, if you're playing through this game, check every grandfather clock, you will more than likely find an elixir. Alright, so time to hightail it and run through the most exposed bridge in the middle of town to where everyone can see us, because that makes total sense. And we just got a little cave to run through. It's, more of the mines. Narsh is a mining city. And now we're into actual real combat. So, gameplay-wise, it's exactly the same. However, you are nowhere near as powerful as you were inside your Magitech armor. So, I'm pretty much just doing straight attacks here, but Terra comes with a cure spell, which heals your wounds. And then she also has a fire spell, which attacks people with fire. I mean, it's pretty much exactly what it says on the tin. And I am probably going to edit, if there's way too many random battles, I am probably going to edit them out. Yeah, and that little crossfade there, that is because I was sitting there schmutzing with the menu, and I really didn't think you guys wanted to watch that again. One thing I always loved about this game in particular, but most of the Final Fantasies beforehand even, is the monster design. This game, it kind of blew my mind. I had absolutely no idea what the hell I was looking at half the time, which I thought was kind of cool. And yes, I did walk past treasure chests. There's a reason for that. That will become apparent. I don't remember exactly how far in the future, but it'll be apparent. Now let's talk about these, I think they're were-rats? Young 8-year-old me was kinda stupid, and I didn't realize the big red things on top of their heads were their ears. I thought it was like a weird exposed brain, and they didn't have eyes and all this stuff. It's a lot more apparent now because they're using high-definition monster graphics, but back in the SNES days, I was kinda stupid, and we fell down a hole! Awesome. Terra takes a few steps, realizes that she has broken legs, and passes out from the pain, with a really crappy overlay graphic. And it's time for a flashback! This guy's name is Kefka, or Kefka, or however you pronounce it. I'm pronouncing it Kefka. If I am incorrect, you can yell at me about it in the comments. That's totally fine. So this is apparently a flashback to when that slave crown got put on her head, and Kefka is happy about it. And we figure out she just murdered a shit ton of soldiers in the middle of a burning house? I don't understand why everything is on fire, but whatever. He's also still very happy about it. And this is the Emperor. Just doing full-blown Nazi salutes, as if you can't make the parallel any clearer. This is so much like a Nazi rally that it's disgusting. And, you know, it's the standard, nothing shall stand in our way, we have a powerful weapon, rhetoric, long live the Emperor, blah 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 blah. It's all very World War II, very Star Wars. And oh, by the way, she's still passed out in a cave, in case you missed it. But she's not the only character in the game. Burn. Now for one of my favorite pieces of music, along with one of my favorite video game characters ever. This is Locke. He's a thief. Or if you ask him, he is a treasure hunter. He's a thief. He can steal things from enemies, he's a thief. But he has one of the best theme tunes in the entire series, and it's amazing. So anyway, he's talking to the old man, and well, the old man is very much, oh yeah, you know that crazy Magitech witch you've been hearing about? Yeah, she's in a cave, probably fell down a hole and passed out because of broken legs or something. So, Locke, doing his I am a hero treasure hunter thing, is going to go and smuggle her out of the city and save her. I would say he's the Han Solo analog in this story, but he totally isn't. That guy comes up later. And yeah, there is a Han Solo monologue. I mean, this is a Squaresoft RPG from the early to mid-90s, so there's going to be a lot of similarities to Star Wars. A lot of similarities to Star Wars. It was just the style at the time. I mean, hell, even Secret of Mana had its Mana Fortress, which was basically a Death Star. And what is this mysterious noises we be hearing behind us? These are Moogles! They are the series mascot, besides the Chocobo. We'll get to Chocobos later. They're cute little cat bat things with balls of fluff on their heads. And they also give you tutorials. And now we're into something that I always found interesting as a gameplay mechanic, because I do not remember this happening in any other Final Fantasy game. You actually control multiple parties. Meaning, you hit a button, and you switch, and you move. Whenever this happens, for the most part. And, I mean, since they're introducing it early, it's not so much a spoiler to say that it is a relatively big gameplay mechanic later on. Relatively. I mean, it comes up, I think, 4 more times. But it's always big deals. Big deal when it happens. But we are actually going to be pressing the assault with the Moogle named Mog, which I believe is this party I'm controlling here. Yep, because Mog can dance. Now, dancing. What kind of battlefield application does that have, you may ask? I don't remember if I show it off in this particular battle or not. I think I do. Yes, I do. So we're gonna dance, we learned the Twilight Requiem. So, what dancing does is, well, makes your character dance, you lose control of them. They basically go into a berserk state and they randomly cast certain spells Also, I'm noticing that the sound effects seem to have desynced from the video, so I'm really sorry about that. I don't know why that happened. Lord knows it's probably happened in the past and no one's just pointed out to me. So, when you're not in control of one of the other parties and they touch one of the enemy units, you just immediately get drawn into a battle. And then you go back to controlling whoever it was you were controlling. Really not a big deal at this point. But in later multi-party battles, it can get annoying because you'll be drawn into a battle with another party rather, and then you win, it goes back to your person, but then the camera goes all the way up to another party because bad guys just keep running into them. But we're going for the boss fight here, you can tell, because kick-ass boss music. And this battle, rather, is rather pathetic. Case in point, I just killed the boss. Yes, Twilight Requiem has a spell, I guess you'd call it, called Snare, which is an instant kill. I don't think you get XP when you kill an enemy that way, but it's just speedrunning tactics here, I guess. Yep. So we owe the Moogles a solid, and we're getting the fuck out of Dodge. Vomit out Terra, and check on her. Covered in stomach slime, that's all good. Hit a switch. Still trying to figure out the timing for readability of the dialogue for you guys, by the way. Sorry about that. Little conversation. Terra is the master of the obvious. And Locke is a cat person, I guess. Oh yeah, by the way, she still has amnesia. She will have amnesia for at least the next 8 to 10 hours. At least. Yes, I just said that, Locke. Thank you. Also, he has a bit of a hero complex, which, I mean, you can kind of see a little bit of it here, but it becomes much more apparent the further you go, and it's one of the reasons why I really like him as a character, because it is a very interesting way that they handle it. Alright, so we got out of Locke. We got out of Narsh. Well, the caves, anyway. We're gonna check out this dude who's just staring at us conspicuously running away from town. And he invites us inside the tutorial house. We're not going to go through all the tutorials, I promise. It's called the Adventuring School. That water's a full heal in that bucket. That's kind of the main reason why I decided to come in here. But there's a couple of goodies you can get too. Like this. It's a monster in a box! This is how the game tends to handle mimics. There is no, regular mimic monster, for the most part, as far as I remember. Typically, it's just what you would be finding in random encounters in the area you're in, or sometimes it's... yeah, sometimes monsters lurk inside treasure chests, because that makes total sense. But sometimes it's slightly more powerful enemies from a place further along. And sometimes it's just straight up unique enemies, which is kind of neat. Yeah, but each of these rooms has at least a treasure chest in it. We just picked up a sleeping bag. If you are familiar with RPGs in general, a sleeping bag is like an inn, but for one person. So full health, full MP, heals all status ailments. And I think we just picked up a tent, which is like an inn, except it's for the whole party. Well, I mean, I know an inn is for the whole party, but these are items that you can only use out on the world map or at save points. And now we're on the world map. It looks like a world map. This is more traditional RPG than Secret of Mana for sure. But we're just gonna meander. Supposed to be heading south to the Kingdom of Figaro. I believe that has been established in plot. And I am going to be cutting out some of these random encounters. At least from here on out, because they're going to make the videos drag. And honestly, if you want to watch me grind, I'd rather just do a stream and do like a Q&A or something like that. Welcome to Figaro Castle. The soundtrack is just... The whole damn soundtrack for the game is absolutely amazing. It is honestly one of the reasons why I got into music, like, not kids' music, you know what I mean? Because, as a kid, I was into, like, Raffi and funny shit. So, we're gonna introduce Terra to the king. Lot of new characters in this episode, it's looking like. And he's a kind of a perv. I mean, I think it's funny. And honestly, they handle it well. Because he's a bit of a lecherous person. But they play it up more as a character flaw than just, like, oh, he's so suave, because he's totally not suave. So, apparently Figaro is allies with the Empire, which is totally awesome. And this is where the king kind of becomes a scuzzball. King Edgar, he's like, okay, you're pretty. I want to know if you want to, do me, I guess. And I guess your abilities are alright. But see what I mean? Totally not suave. Yeah, a normal girl probably would have felt rage and bitch-slapped royalty if she heard those words. At least all the women I hang out with. So this is Figaro Castle. We can run around, explore a little bit. These little side rooms have shops. And I believe this is an item shop. Yep. Which, really nothing to write home about. The one in the other room, I believe, is weapons? I could be misremembering. That is entirely possible. Really not all that strange for me. Oh, I cannot wait until I get... There's a certain item that I'm going to be getting soon that will make these videos so much easier, both on me and on you guys. Anyway, we're supposed to randomly wander around the castle. This room here, it's like a free inn, so full heal. We really don't need it at this point, but it does come in handy. Especially if you decide you want to grind with Terra outside, because she is going to be significantly lower level than Locke, for sure. And you named him, so it's not going to be a spoiler that Edgar ends up in your party. But through your random wanderings around, you're supposed to end up in here, and I'm trying to chase down this little girl. Yep. King's kind of a perv. But we need to talk to this priestess. This Priestess Event Flag, I believe is her full name, fills us in on the backstory of the king, and this handsome fellow who just swaggers on in like nothing's a problem. It's kinda hard to be silly when the sad music's playing. Get used to the sad music. You'll hear it a lot. So, back in the day, the old king's dying, Edgar is all sad about it. This dude in the sweet tank top is not quite with it. When it comes to human emotion, it's Edgar's brother, Sabin. also known as Mash in the first game. In the Japanese translation, his name is Mash. Which sounds kind of fucking stupid, but it's actually supposed to be a nickname, so surprisingly it makes sense. Anyway, so talk to the High Priestess. It's like, oh, the king has it rough. Dad died, brother ran off. Whatever. It's all good in the hood. So with that going on, we have to make our way back to the main throne room to progress the plot. You know you did it right when you see this swanky fellow walking around the antechamber to the throne room. He's the Chancellor. He provides you with a little tidbit of backstory, which is fine, I guess. Alright, so you talk to Edgar, and immediately get interrupted, because there's, like, a mailman coming or something. Oh no, it's Kefka. Kefka with the kick-ass theme music. Alright. So, Kefka's a clown? And a bad guy? And if anyone has seen any sort of nerdy pop culture anything, you know where this is going. Demanding sand being cleaned off his boots in the middle of a desert. Evil, goofy laugh. I wonder what type of character archetype he fits in. Okay, I'll just spell it out for you guys that may not have been introduced to Batman in your lives. He is essentially the Joker if the Joker was absolutely ineffectual as a villain. But he does have really cool, evil music, so he has that going for him. So we try to figure out what the Empire's up to. Soldiers are not having any of it. And we finally talk to the specifically denying facts clown. Yeah, let's send the court mage after someone who just stole a couple of minor things. Totally not a witch. Totally didn't almost burn down a whole city. Also, apparently there are a lot of women in the castle. Or the king can't count. I am not 100% sure which at this point. He leaves with a vague threat. We just kind of watch him leave, and it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. Back to normal. We must talk away from the lady. She must not know our plans, to give her a room to sleep in. Edgar's off to go do paperwork and shit, and we have to follow Locke. Now, funny story. When I was 8 or 9, I just kind of fucked off and did my own thing at this point, and got horribly, horribly, horribly lost. Because as soon as you see him go down these steps, he disappears. Now where do you go? What do you do? It's not like this castle is exactly symmetrical, except for the fact that it totally is. Yeah. I stepped outside, got lost, went and grinded for like an hour, and then eventually figured out where I was supposed to go, because that was back before the internet was a thing. Locke's also a treasure hunter! An underground resistance group called the Returners. Is it like a rebellion? Yeah, so she's still hung up on being an Imperial soldier, you know, which is a thing. And Locke's basically just telling her, nah, everything's all good. No future but what we make, Terminator 2. Anyway, we're gonna go take a nap. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys next time.